Hi, this is Ryan Person with a tournament recap on Lake of the Ozarks for Sunday the 16th. This was a National Youth Fishing Association event through my high school program. And it was a tough tournament for everybody. And there was only a couple of limits weighed in. And we practiced all week long. We had spring break, so we practiced all week long. And we thought we were putting together some pieces. And the fishing just got tough because all the weather changes. The water temp at the beginning of the week was 36.5 in the mornings, and then in the afternoons it would get up to around 38, 39. On tournament morning, the water temp started out right at 40 degrees, and by the end of the day, on the main lake, it was 42 to 43, depending on where you were at. And we fished a lot of different baits in practice and caught fish, just not the consistency we were looking for. We got around some quality fish on some certain spots, and we just couldn't replicate that everywhere else in the lake. I think if we'd have put together a couple more good spots like we had found, we would have had a better shot at it, because our spots did end up getting hit with other boats. And what can you expect in a tournament of 300 boats? Hats off to all the people who caught fish. It was a very tough tournament with very tough conditions. We were just post-frontal. We had really bluebird skies, high sun, and all that weather changing, I think, messed with the fish. So you don't get that consistent feeding all day long. You get feeding windows. And you just got to be in front of the right fish at the right time and be ready for that bite when that feeding window happens. And I feel like we covered a lot of water and tried a lot of different techniques. We just ran out of time. We didn't have a backup plan going into the event. We just had one plan, and when you do that, you kind of get yourself in a position to where that one plan fails and you're not ready for when you need to have that backup plan so you can recover with a small limit or a couple more fish. So in practice, we started out catching them on suspending jerkbaits. Started out with, this is a Spro mixed stick. I believe this is the 110 version of it. And anything that was mainly white, bone. I believe this is a Tennessee shad or a herring type color. That was kind of what we were catching the most fish on. We had a shad kill going on because the water temp was so low, so fast. We had a lot of cold nights all week long, so there was a lot of shad dead in the lake. And it's a primary gizzard shad lake. Threadfin population is not as good up in that part of Missouri like it would be down on Table Rock. So we beefed up to, this one's a classic. This is a Smithwick Super Suspending Rogue. And when we beefed up, that was kind of what got us the bigger fish. In practice, we got onto some spots with some good quality fish. We were catching them on those jerk baits. But then when it got tough, we had to come back with something that was a little bit finessier, still shad-like. So what we did was we started out with a grub, and we were catching fish on that. What was actually funny is my partner had forgotten to pull the tab on a rage tail grub, so that bait was just like a slow thump because that tail wasn't broken free. It wasn't able to kick. So that kind of gave us a clue. So we took a Super Fluke Junior and stuck it on a 1/4 ounce jig head and some 10-pound fluoro. And with that, we were just slow rolling it, just taking it off the bottom. And that dead stick style presentation mimicked those dying shad that were sinking down to the bottom. And we caught several keepers on that in practice. And then when the tournament rolled around, that bite kind of dried up on us. We only caught one short on that bait. So with the big Super Suspending Rogue, we actually caught our first keeper in like 10 minutes. And it was the only fish we weighed in, and it was just under 5 pounds. It was 480. And I thought, you know what, that's it. We're just gonna go off on these fish with that magnum size rogue. And that really wasn't the deal, unfortunately. So we tried a lot of different baits to try and change it up. In practice, we also got onto a little bit of a spinnerbait bite. And we were using painted blades or gold blades, white or chartreuse, something that was shad-like and would stick out in the dirtier water. We went to those dirtier water spots when we were throwing that spinnerbait because the water was a little bit warmer. So that bite kind of disappeared on us, so we didn't have something to go to whenever the slow moving baits weren't working. What can you do though? It's like been a really weird transition period for these fish because we didn't have a winter until early March, and that's really the first time that the temps have dropped into the teens at night, and that really cooled the water off. But in practice, like, we covered a lot of different bases. We caught some keepers on the Ned rig. This is a PB&J Ned rig on a 3/16 ounce head. And all of these baits, with the exception of the spinnerbait, we were fishing as slow as we possibly could, painfully slow. And then we switched up to a Cinco on a flicket head, and that got us a couple bites in practice, some keeper bites. White was our best color because of the shad kill going on. And like I said, it was really tough on everybody, and the results kind of showed that. We had one fish for 480, and that landed us 29th place out of a little over 300 boats. So even on a day where we struggled, what more can you ask for? I had a great time with my partner out there, and the National Youth Fishing Association runs great events, gets a lot of people there, and Lake of the Ozarks just is a tough lake this time of year when it's transitioning, because you can literally catch fish on any bait. You just have to be right place, right time. And we missed some prime feeding windows while we were running around. We kind of went into freak out mode and started running around as opposed to just sitting down and breaking one area down. So that's really all I got for you. Thanks so much for watching. I want to thank my sponsors, Woo Tungsten and Keep It Real Fishing. Woo Tungsten specializes in durable tungsten weights that you're not going to have a lot of paint chipping going on. They just came out with a no chip flipping weight line. It's got a special chemical that when they coat it and soak it, it's not supposed to have that black paint chipping off. So we were using Woo Tungsten weights on our flicket head. And then Keep It Real Fishing, they do a lot of apparel stuff. So you can get like decals, really nice performance fishing shirts, some hats, and then just your basic t-shirts with some cool designs on it. So when you get the chance, go ahead and check those out. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, all right?